Hello everyone, this is Dr.R.Thulasiram, Associate Professor, Department of Social Sciences, Faculty of Agricultural Sciences, Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research, Chennai. So today the topic for discussion is staffing. So it is one of the important topics that is coming under the course Entrepreneurship Development and Business Management. So the course consists of two sections. The first section is all about who is an entrepreneur, what is entrepreneurship, what are the different types of entrepreneurships, and what is their role and functions. And we will also discuss about different business organizations which is related to agriculture. And in the second part of this particular course, we'll be dealing with different management functions in a business organization. That is, how to control people in an organization, how to hire people, how to direct people towards a particular work, and how to motivate people towards a particular work, what is leadership, for what it is important. So these kind of topics will be discussed under business management. So this particular topic, staffing, is also one of the important things that is coming under management. So management, first of all, we should understand, it is the art of getting things done by others, right? So how I make use of these 10 people who is working under me to do my job, what I pay for them, what work I allocate them. So that is called as management. So inside management, we need to take control of our staff members. We need to evaluate them. We need to direct them towards a particular work based on the payment that they receive. And also I need to take new people for different positions in our organization, right? So that taking new people, that process is called as staffing. So we will see about staffing in detail. Let us move on to the slides. Right. First of all, let me define this staffing process. It is the process of hiring eligible candidates in an organization or any company or for specific position, right? So what we need to do, we need to do a work, right? All alone, we cannot do such work for our company, industry, or whatever it is. So for this purpose, we need to hire new people to do that work, and I will be paying them money in the form of salary, in the form of wages on daily basis, etc. Right? So I need to select an eligible candidate for different positions, because to run a company, to run a business organization, which is an Agri-based organization, I need to have different works to be done, right? For each and every work, there are different departments, and for each and every department, there are n number of positions to be filled. So based on the position to be filled, I have to hire people on higher basis, right? So in management, the staffing is an operation of recruiting the employees by evaluating their skills, knowledge, and then offering them specific job roles accordingly. So when I try to take a particular person for one position, I cannot directly take one without testing them. So the demand here is only one. Okay, there may be lots of supply that is available. People are in plenty outside our organization. So I need to receive this curriculum from all these people, resume from all these people, and then I need to evaluate their skills one by one, and I need to test their knowledge. Based on the test which is done, I can select one particular person to fill the specific role. So this is called as staffing in management. So what are all the different processes that involves in a staffing? As I already told you, the staffing is a very big thing to be done in an organization. So we need to go for prior planning. We need to forecast accordingly. I mean, the demand that we need, that should be equal to the supply. We cannot take more people than what we demand, so etc. So when we try to hire people, when we try to evaluate people to test their knowledge, what are all the different processes that has to be done in this staffing? Staffing is not only selecting a particular person. After selecting a particular person, there are lots of things that will happen in an organization, right? So what are they? That we will be seeing as the process of staffing. The first important process in staffing, the first step is acquiring, that is taking people. The second one is employing them for a specific role in the organization, and developing them, that is developing the sense, developing their skills to work more efficiently. Efficiency in working atmosphere is nothing but how a particular person completes their work, how fast he completes his work. Effectively means not in an effective way, right? Effectively in the sense, they need to show their efficiency. Highly efficient candidate, they will do any work quickly than others. They will do any work by spending less money than others. So both these things are beneficial for a company. So by taking this into consideration, any company will hire these kind of people who are efficient in their work. So like in that way, we need to develop their competencies in the future course of time. When these people are working in our organization, in due course, we need to develop their competencies for a personal growth as far as the employee is concerned, and also for the ultimate growth that a business organization wants. And the next step is appraising, that is evaluating their work. And if their work is satisfied, we can give them some increments, some salary bonus, etc. If it is not there, we can give them some memo or warning, whatever it is, and followed by firing process. We can fire them out of the job. The last one is remunerating, that is giving some extra additional benefits to the employee based on the work that they do, based on the efficiency of the person, based on the number of days in which they work for the particular organization. Then finally, we need to retain people so that we can have an eligible candidate in our work, in our organization for a longer period of time. That may help us to increase our revenue. So retaining people so that finally we'll have right type of people available at right positions at the right time in our organization. We cannot often do this hiring process because it is not an easy process. Every now and then a new guy will come to an organization. He will get to know about the rules and regulations of a particular organization. After some time, if he moves out of the organization, we need to again hire a people, and whatever we have explained the other day with the old person, that we need to repeat it again to a newly employed person of our organization. So these are the different steps involved in staffing process. Now we will see one by one. Before seeing the steps of staffing, we need to know about a particular person who is very important in an organization, who is responsible for selecting right candidates through interviews, that is HR manager. HR in the sense human resource manager. They recruit people for different positions, right? So normally these MBA graduates and who have done a PhD in management, they will be doing these kind of works, and these people themselves will be hired by an organization to conduct interview for that particular organization. Say for example, if I run a company, for my company, I need to recruit new people in the form of laborers, watchmen, technical people, non-technical people, loadmen, drivers, etc. So to fill these positions, I need to have one HR manager. I will hire them first. So through them, I can hire different people, right? And there will be a separate policy for HR in each and every organization. Based on that policy, this hiring process, firing process, payment, extra benefits like mediclaim, insurance policies, etc. will be fixed for those persons. Increment, is it based on 6 months once? Is it for once in a year? Is it for once in 2 years? Is it for once in 3 years? What is the probation period? That is temporary period for which we need to work for some time. Then only our job will get permanent. So what is that period? Is it 1 year we have to work as probationary officer? Is it 2 years that we need to work as a temporary guy? Is it 3 years? That is based on the HR policy of that particular organization, and that will be fixed by this HR manager along with the owner of that particular institution or organization. So these HR managers, they are responsible for these kind of functions. You can call it as responsibility of a HR manager. That is salary and benefits, that will be fixed by these people. Team building, they will make people to work as a cooperative group. Then communicate, they communicate from the higher level to the lower level, and also they receive communications from the lower level to the higher level. That is called as upward communication. And then they will also give some other benefits. Okay, they give motivations, they lead you, and sometimes they teach you what to do. And not only they teach you what to do, they also teach you how it should be done. Right. So first process of staffing, as we have seen some of the different processes, we have listed out these things here, and we'll see one by one. The first step in processing staffing is acquiring people, that is taking people, selecting people based on the evaluation of each and every individual's curriculum, right? So based on their skills, based on their experience, based on how they have impressed this panel of people who conducts interview, they will get selected. So selection of people is the first process. And the second one is developing staff, right? Once we have employed them, the second step is employing people. So once you are employing them, that means you are employing them for a particular position and in particular posting, because any organization will have different departments: transport department, finance department, and administrative departments, etc. So you may hire people for any of these departments in any of the roles. You have manager, you have assistant managers, you have supervisors, right? You have lab assistants, you have assistants, junior assistants, typewriters, etc. So based on these requirements, you will fill positions for these vacancies, right? So that is employing people. The third step is developing the staff, particular staff, right? How can we develop a particular staff? Once we have employed them, we need to develop that particular employee during the course of time in which they work for our organization, right? The first and foremost thing that the workers can get is experience. Once they keep on working for our institution or any other organization, the first benefit that they get, the first thing that is getting developed with an employee is their experience and their ability to do a work, and of course their growth of the salary, and not only his salary but also the revenue of the organization. Trainings, by conducting trainings, their skill can be developed. We will make them more competent, that is their competency value will get increased, and they can learn a lot of things from our organization. So in this ways, we can develop a staff once they have been employed in our organization. And the fourth step is appraisal. So as appraisal, as I said in the list and in the slide where I listed out all the steps of a staffing process, assessment of the performance of an employee over a particular period. So this particular period, as I said, it will be fixed by each and every organization on their own. The HR manager available in an organization, they will be fixing, yes, there will be an appraisal once in a year. In some other organization, that particular HR, they can fix, yes, there is an appraisal once in 2 years, or once in 3 years, or once in 5 years, right? So they may have a separate appraisal form in which the details of each and individual employees will be filled, and this filled in application form will be evaluated by the higher officials based on the different questions or checklists or criteria that is being formed in an application form. They will make a tick mark. They will give marks for each and every category of questions. And finally, based on the overall comments about that particular employee, they will decide whether to go for giving increment or not for that particular employee. So this is purely based on the performance of an employee during a particular period of time. So as I said, if it is once in 2 years, the performance of this employee for the first 2 years will be analyzed. So if the appraisal is once in 3 years, the performance of a particular employee in an organization for 3 years will be analyzed, evaluated, and accordingly they will be given with an increment or additional benefits. So this is the fourth step called appraisal. The fifth step is giving remuneration. Once you found out that they are capable, once you found out that they are efficient enough to work for our organization, okay, we need to give them some reward for their work. So that is called as remuneration. This employee remuneration refers to the reward or compensation given to the employees for their work performance, right? It is purely based on their performance. If the performance is good, they may be getting paid with an additional benefit, right? So it is considered to be the basic attraction to any employee to perform their job efficiently and effectively, right? So it serves as a diesel for an engine, right? If these people are engine, the employees are engine, the diesel is the remuneration. So if you put more and more diesel, their performance will be good. They act very fast than ever. They work more efficiently. So as I told you, efficiency is working so fast in an effective manner, right? So they may be given with a compensation. They may be given with a deferred compensation, deferred DEFERRED. Deferred compensation in the sense, for some point of time, some part of the salary will be taken by the organization for every month, and finally they will be given with a bulk amount. Okay, If there are some other organization where people will give target for the employees, if the target is achieved, after the minimum target is achieved, for each and every new customers that they get into the business, they will get commission from the owners, right? If I get a new customer to buy a fridge in our organization, so if the fridge cost is 50,000, so I may be given with 10% commission out of the 50% to sell the fridge. It may be 2%, it may be 1%, etc. So these kind of benefits that will be given for the staff members, that is employee of an organization, that is called as remuneration, that acts as an engine, that acts as a diesel to run an engine effectively. And they use different compensation strategies, right? So that strategy has to be affordable by the company. Now, I cannot, as a company, I cannot give more and more of benefits which may bite my revenue. Okay, it should not be a problem for me. So accordingly, I have to pay extra benefits to my employee, and it needs to be structured, right? So that means if I give something extra to the employee, now that will help to work to grow the organization itself. No, that will help them to work for the organization, and that should lead to the growth of an organization. So that is called a structured benefit, structured additional benefits, right? And it is reasonably competitive such that it attracts and retains quality people, right? So there are many companies which may be found to be your competitors, right? So your benefit, extra benefit that you give to an employee, that needs to be more attractive than the benefit which is given by your competitor companies. So accordingly, you need to plan your benefits. So you need to strategically make some decisions in fixing the compensation for your employees. The last step is, after evaluating all these steps, you need to know how to retain this good employee. Okay, so you can communicate with them and you can ask for their expectations clearly, and accordingly you can give them additional benefits. You can allow employees to use their talents and skills, and you can provide quality management or supervision to grow an employee, and make the staff members feel appreciated then and there by giving some acknowledgements, some appreciations, etc. in weekly or monthly or quarterly meetings. And we can also provide a platform for employees to speak their minds freely during some brainstorming sessions, during some weekly or monthly meetings. So this is the sixth step. So by doing all these 6 steps, the staffing is done. So all these 6 steps comprised by the staffing. The staffing comprises of all these 6 steps, right? So next we will see about the importances of staff. Why we need to recruit people. The first one is to fill the positions which is available in an organization, because there is acute competition, right? There is acute competition. How you require people, the same way the other concerned companies also will require people. So there is high demand for workers. So there is an acute competition to hire people. Okay, each and every company may need 100 laborers for their respective organizations. Okay, there are 20 companies. That means 20 into 100, 2,000 employees you need. All these companies. There are only 1,000 people available in the nation, okay, who can fit this job. So there is acute competition. You require 2,000 people. There are only 1,000 people available. So you need to select quality laborers out of those 1,000, right? So sometimes you may have abundant supply, but most of them are unskilled laborers. But what you require is skilled laborers. So that time there will be a mismatch between demand and supply of. So ultimate aim is to fill the organization positions. Manager position is vacancy. There is a vacancy in supervisor position. Accordingly, you need to fill, for which we do staffing. Second one is to develop the competencies. As I told you, the rate of skill obsolescence is very high. That is, day by day, year by year, their skill will get diminished. So we need to give them training accordingly. We need to grow them good. And retaining personnel, as I told you, based on the employees' turnover, right? They can give increment. They can try to retain them. If the turnover is poor, they will try to fire some of the employees who are sometimes junior, who are sometimes they may get high pay. So if they remove 10 people, they can save some money every month. So that is why they hire people. So if some of the examples for this process is IT, consultancy, and banking sectors. So even recently, I don't know, It is in the papers also, it is available. The software companies like Accenture, Cognizant, no, they have fired 18,000 and 10,000 employees in India itself, respectively, from both these companies. So that is called as firing process, right? So then, when we hire people, we need manpower. Okay, we need manpower. That is why we hire people. Why we need manpower? To run our organization. To run our organization has different departments. In each and every department, we need some workforce to work for it, right? Towards a particular goal. We need managers, we need supervisors, we need assistant managers, accountants, etc. Okay, so in some of the business organizations, if the business organization produces a product, finished goods, which may be consumable or usable, you need to put input. That input may be a raw material, that may be agri product or non-agri product. Okay, this is with respect to company which produces a product. If a company gives a service, that company also need to hire people, right? But there, the input is not raw materials. For such companies which provide services like banking sector, etc., their major input is the manpower. Okay, manpower, right? So inputs, generally you call it as resources. Now output, you can call it as product. Okay, if it is a company which produces a product, you can call these inputs raw materials or resources. But when there is a company which provides service to the outside, you can call this particular manpower input as human resource. So that is why the staffing function is manpower planning is otherwise called as human resource planning. So this manpower planning is the first step in staffing function. That is, before recruiting people, we need to think how many numbers we need, what are all the different positions that is needed to be filled in our organization, how many is already available, and how many we need in extra. So that is forecasting. Forecasting in the sense, predicting the number of people required for our organization. That is, apart from the present human resources that is available in an organization, what is the additional human resources requirement for our organization? So that is called as forecasting, right? So through that, we can ensure that right people at right place and right time, they are available, right? So what are the importances for manpower planning? Defining future personal need. Personal in the sense, working community, right? So it is the basis for recruiting. Once you know that, once you are very sure that how many people you want to hire, then only you can go for recruitment process. Because when you need 10 people, accordingly, you need to go for recruitment process where you can recruit 10 people. Okay, and many a times there may be a mismatch between person needed and person available. Say, for example, the Steel Authority of India has 1,70,000 employees, but what they actually need is only 1 lakh. So what do? They will catch these age-old employees who have crossed 55 or 50, and they will ask them to go for BRS, right? So when a person who can retire by 60, but he is retiring very quickly, much before than 50, by 55 or 56, he loses some service years. So to compensate that, the company will give them some compensations. Apart from BRS amount, they will be giving some compensation. And that compensation also will be calculated based on some formula that is being already fixed by that particular organization. So say, for example, last down salary multiplied by 3 into number of years of completed service. So based on these kind of calculations, this BRS amount will be calculated and compensation will be given to compensate their remaining working years. So now when you hire 70,000 employee, now there will not be any mismatch between demand and supply of employee. That is, you require 1 lakh people and you have 1 lakh people in your organization. The second importance for this manpower planning is we can provide base for developing talents, right? So L&T, Larsen and Turbo, so they take, out of the total employees that they recruit, 70% of employees are technicians, engineers, and MBA, right? So it is knowledge oriented. So once they have recruited these people as an employee for the organization, they will try to improve their skills, competencies, etc. Okay. So if they want to replace these people, it is highly cost effective because you have already trained these people. They are untrained employees, so you need to retain these people carefully. The third importance for manpower planning, why we need to plan before how much we require. So because accordingly we need to prepare for the salary that we need to do. Say, for example, IIMs, Indian Institute of Management, the salary range is high. Okay, so we need to plan it very quickly, because the investment in human resource is more here. Investment in the sense, investment in the form of salary. If I recruit 10 people in my organization, if I am working for IIM, if I recruit 10 people, the salary range is high. So the salary, total salary for all these 10 people every year is high. So that is called as investment. I am investing on their salary. So that investment is increasing. So you need more money. So for which you need to plan it priorly. So we want some 10 people for my organization as a managers for different departments by the end of July. I need to start this process by March itself, so that I can complete the recruitment with proper planning of salary and other emoluments effectively. Right. So this manpower planning that consists of three importance. That is, it provides base for developing talents. It provides basis for recruitment process, and also it increases investment. And next one we will see is the manpower planning process. It involves 4 steps. The first one is forecasting, that I told you, predicting how many people that we require for our organization in this particular year, financial year, how many we require, right? That is forecasting demand. Demand is manpower requirements. So mathematically we can project. That means we can forecast by the end of July how many people we may need. What is the expected workforce? How much is available already? How much is needed in extra? That we need to plan. That planning is called forecasting. Then inventorying our manpower resources, which is at present. That is, how many people are at present be available. You have to split this organization into different departments. In each and every department, we need to count the number of people available in that particular department. And apart from these present employees, how many numbers are required for our organization in the next financial year? So that is called as inventory, right? Just listing out the present manpower resources in our organization. The third one is anticipating manpower problems to determine their adequacy, right? We need to check, we need to evaluate the manpower which is available here, right? So how can we check it? On one side, you can check, you can have our performance, their output for our organization. On the other side, we can keep the money that we pay them for such work. So it needs to be on higher side, right? Their work should be somewhat more than what they are getting paid. As far as business people are concerned, as far as employees are concerned, they always require, based on their work, they need to get paid. So this is called as anticipating manpower problems based on the adequacy. The fourth step is planning. So then we can go for a recruitment. We can select by keeping some technical experts from different organizations to select persons for our company. There is selection process. Then we can train them. You can utilize them for a growth of the company. You can transfer them whenever it is needed to from one branch to another branch. We can give them promotion based on the experiences or number of years they have served for our organization. Then we can also provide compensation as extra benefit for them based on the work. And we can also motivate for the future work. So motivation in the sense, we can determine them, we can give new opportunities, we can create opportunities to take out their talents. We can give additional incentives. We can also provide challenges for them so that we can check in some tough situations how they able to come across the tough situation. We can try to develop them. We can fix a goal for them, because once you don't have a motive, there is nothing that you can keep as a reason to work for an organization. You need to have a goal, that is motive. Then you should also support your employees. So these are the 4 processes that we have in manpower planning process. We have 2 types of manpower planning. So it is 2 types based on the level and based on basis. Based on the period, you may take them as for a short period or medium period or long period, that is with respect to time. Based on the level, you can take them for a micro level, that is for a particular industry, small industry, or you can take them for a macro level to represent the nation as a whole. And to summarize the things that we have seen so far, this human resources, HR, planning or staffing or recruitment, it is hiring people, that is recruiting or selection people, giving them training, and also based on the work efficiency, we can give them compensations, benefits, and to give such compensation and benefits or promotions or additional any benefits, we need to evaluate them. that is their performances. So this is in nutshell about this HR process. So to summarize in nutshell as a whole, so what this human resource department they do, they need to recruit new people to fill in all the vacancy position of an organization. This vacancy positions are that is available for each and every department of an organization. So each and every department that carries multiple roles to be filled in. If there is any vacancy there, say for example 3 managers, 4 supervisors, so these 3 plus 4 has to be filled by recruiting new people. So what they do, they recruit employees, they monitor their performance, they oversee their compensation and benefits. So if it is fixed like once during the interview, if it is fixed like if you work for 3 years, you will get a compensation. So these 3 years, that compensation that will be followed up by the person who are working in the HR office. So once they reach the 3 years, they will automatically give compensation to such employees since they have completed 3 years of service in that particular organization. So based on the based on the agreement they have made into, once they recruit the people, accordingly they will be giving them benefits. And also they promote job training and educational development of the employee, and overall they ensure better company culture for all the employees of an organization. So far we have seen something about staffing, in which we have seen what is staffing and what are the different processes involved in staffing and manpower planning. And also we have seen who is a HR manager and what are the roles and functions of a HR manager. And we have also discussed about some of the additional benefits that is being given for the staff members to retain them effectively in an organization. This will be helpful for both the growth of the employee and also for the personal growth of the business unit. So these business units, that may be a unit which produces agri products, or it may be a unit that produces non-agricultural products. So if it is producing agricultural products, you can call them as agri business units or agro-based industries. If not, it may be a general industry. So that's all for today's discussion. So I hope you all enjoyed this lecture. We'll meet again in future course of time with some other interesting lectures. Until then, it is bye from Thulasiram. Thank you.